Okay, so now I want to discuss one project with you. Okay, see this now. Remember that we had created a program where we were asking the user to guess a number, and I was telling you that let's go ahead and in the future try to reinvent this code, try to make this code better by giving the options by allowing the user to actually try to guess a number maybe multiple times, right? Because what was happening, the user was guessing a number, and if the number is incorrect, then in the very first attempt not the code was getting ended, right? So we were not giving the option to the user. Now since we know the loop, for loop, so we can do that. Okay, so where is that? I think we created that somewhere in the if function. I think yeah, this is the one. I think the guess a number. Yeah. So I'm going to copy this, guys. Okay, let's just copy this. Let's go here and let me paste this. Right. I hope you remember this. Right. We have uh, just few days back. I mean, we have discussed this. But anyways, I'll just quickly walk you through. So we were asking the user that you need to guess the number between 0 to 5, or maybe let's say 0 to 10, right? So user gives the input, and then we have already decided the number which we are going to, you know we are going to consider the user as a winner if he is or she is going to choose either 3 or 4, right? But in this what was happening, when I'm going to run this code, this one, if let's say the user in the very first attempt enters a number here, let's say 1, which is neither 3 nor 4. So the process says that, sorry, try again, and it finishes off, right? But let's say we want to give the user option. We want to give the option, we want to give the 3 attempts to the user, right? So now how are you going to do it? That is why I said that loops are very important. You need to push back this code to run 3 times, right? But how you can push this code? Obviously, you can't say verbally, right? As on date, I mean, there's no, we haven't created any such voice uh, voice tool. But who knows? Maybe after 10 or 15 years from now, the way the IT industry is growing, you just have to speak something, and your program will be created. Who knows? You never know, right? So in this case, guys, we simply go and put the loop, I think, inside this, because this is where we ask the user 3 times, please give us the input. So we say that if x in range, so I'm going to write here 1 to 4. Why 1 to 4? Because loop starts with 0, so I don't want to take that 0 into the calculation. If you want to write 0, then you go and write here 3, because up to 3 means 0 and 1 and 2. So I want to actually, I'm giving here 3 attempts, right? Is this clear? 3 attempts for user to guess. Okay, clear? Now, obviously, we need to put some tab here and tab here and tab here. Indentation, what I mean to say. So I can just go and use the this way. I think we are perfect. We can run this code now. Okay, so the plan is you need to guess a number, and then if the number is incorrect, we will give the choice to the user again. Okay, and let's run this code now, and let's see that what is going to happen. Okay, there we go. So you see that, guys, I have got here the enter number. Let's say I enter here a number called 2, which is incorrect, right? Sorry, try again. Look at this. Wow, beautiful. Again, let's say I enter here 1. Look at this, one more attempt, right? Now in this, if I again enter, let's say 2, or any number, let's say 21, you see now it says that, sorry, try again. Sorry, try again, and the process is finished. So this is working. You got the point. Now there are two things which we want to do here. First is that number of attempts should be informed to the user. Hey, there are 3 attempts. Hey, you are left with 2 attempts. You are left with 1 attempt. Sorry, bye bye. Isn't it? Right? So, this sorry, try again, we should write this when all the attempts, I think, get failed. So, now what we need to do is the internet was disconnected. So, I was telling you that, sorry, try again. This is something we want to go and write, not here, but maybe at the end of the game. right? So that is the first thing. Now let me cut this and let me put here. Okay, so indentation should not be there. So now print sorry try again is not going to be a part of the else condition. Okay, all right. Now when I go and say please enter the number, I think this is where you can print the number of attempts, or maybe you can choose the, I think, the else area, because if the condition is not failing, if the condition is not true, then the code comes in the else area, right? So maybe here we can say that try again, and number of attempts are, these are the number of attempts, right? So we can say that um, you have left with number of attempts, you know, like this. And then here we can write a variable which is, let's say, uh, win chance, win chance, or maybe just a chance. Okay, maybe just a chance. Now this chance variable, what we have to do, first of all, I just put the comma here. We have to define this chance here, right? So the chance actually should start, I guess, with 3. Correct or not? Right? So when I run this program, the first time when the user enters something wrong, let's say, so it means that this should be -1, 3 minus 1. Or we can say that, you should write here 2. Okay, I think that's fine. So you are left with number of attempts and then just the number. Okay, or maybe you can write you are left with the with and then comma and the number of chances, and then comma, and you're left with I say 3 attempts, right? And let's just go and close this. Okay, this is what we need to do. Fine. In the input also, please enter the number. I think here we can mention that you have 3 chances. Okay, so we can say please note you have 3 chances for a guess. Fine, I think this is perfect, right? All right, and then I say that, yeah, so this is where I go and start the program. Okay, so the first thing is that let me run this code and let's see that. Now here you see that you need to guess a number between 0 to 10. Please enter the number. So here I'm now going to enter the number. Correct? So if I go and, for example, if I go and write here 1, let's see that you're left with 2 attempts. Wow, fantastic. Again I write, let's say 1. You're left with 2 attempts. So attempt now should be actually 1, right? So this is our something we have to do, correct. So attempt actually should also go in the negative, because the number of attempts otherwise remains fixed. So we can do one thing. Whenever we have the attempt here, it's very simple. We can write here attempt equals to attempt minus 1. Okay, this is how we can do it. Or if you remember, there's another way of writing it. Instead of writing like this, I hope you remember now when I just said that assignment operators also we can use. Okay, so attempt now is going to be automatically, every time the loop runs, it will diminish by 1. Okay, so let's run this. So again we have here, please enter the number 1. Okay, so here I'm getting some error, and what it says that the name attempt is not defined. Okay, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Actually, it's chance. Sorry, I was looking at here. This is not a variable. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so you see, the moment it said attempt is not defined, so you know what my mind said? My mind said that it is not defined. How it is possible? Because it's a variable, so it must be defined here. I mean, it must be taking some value over here. And the moment I went here, I knew it that what I did, right? What wrong I did. So I'm going to run this again, and now let's see that. So I'm again going to enter 1. So you're left with two attempts. Again, I'm going to enter one, let's say. You're left with one attempt. Again, I'm going to enter one, right? Sorry, try again. Now this is beautiful, right? Sorry, try again, right? You have, sorry, you have lost or whatever. Now you see, this is working, but I think this is not going to work if the user is going to guess the number, because if you remember that this line, the print, will execute, will execute, doesn't matter if the if goes in this part or it actually executes the else part, right? Because of the indentation, we have kept it outside, right? So if I run this, I think this is a flaw. Let's say, let me guess the number this time, 3. Okay, so we should see here, you won the game, which actually will be printed. But down the line, we should also be, I think, expecting a line, sorry, try again, which is very wrong. I think so. Let me see that. You won the game. Okay, now you see, very interesting. You won the game and please enter the number. Hey, I don't need now to enter the number again, right? I don't have to because I have already guessed the number. So now what? Now what? I thought that I should, you know, tell you this thing later. But this is the perfect example where I'm going to tell you how to exit from the loops if you think that you have met your target. Okay, so see, when the user comes here, when the code comes here, it means user has already found the number. User has already guessed the number. So I don't want to now push the code again to run it the second time, isn't it? That's stupid. I mean, user will say, hey, I have guessed the number, I have won the game. Give me my money, isn't it? Why are you now again asking me for the another option? So what to do now? Because according to this loop will definitely run 3 times. Why it is going to run 3 times? Because we wanted to give the user a chance, 3 chances. But what if he's going to crack this in the very first or maybe in the second chance? Isn't it? So pay attention, guys. Right over here, I'm going to write a keyword called break. I'm going to write this break. Okay. I'm going to run this again. Okay. Stop and rerun. Let me rerun. Let's see now. So I'm going to guess the number 3. It means I have won the game, I'm going to win the game, and then the code should not give me the second option, second chance. Let's go and press enter, right? Now look at this, beautiful. You won the game. You won the game, and there is no second, the option, there is no second, the prompt which is given to me that you have to enter the game. I know, sorry, try again, but we can work on it because this should not come. But do you understand the meaning of the break? So break means that if we want to exit from the loop, if we want to exit from the loop anytime, at any time, okay, we can do that using break, right? So I thought that I would tell you this separately, but then student, they most of the time student ask me, so sir, what kind of a situation then it can be. So I think this is the perfect example. See, you said that loop, I want to run this 100 times. I want to search some value. I want to look up some value from one sheet to another sheet, from one text file to another, right? Now, who knows, maybe on the 50th attempt, you got what you actually wanted to find. Now, why you want to run the code again? Because you have found what you wanted. So to save the time, we have to exit from the loop, right? So that's where we can use the break. Okay, and it's available in every programming language in different terms. Like in Excel VBA, what we do is we use actually exit for this word, exit for. Okay, just for information. Okay, so, but here we go and say break. Now the only thing which is left is that this should not come here. Print sorry, try again. Okay, so what we can do is, first of all, uh, when I said that you want the game and the break, so this actually should not come here. We can just go and cut it from here. So where we can actually mention, now this is something we need to find out. You see, the thing is that if I go and write this here, then you will see this at every attempt when the number is not entered correct. And I think that will look very awkward, isn't it? See, I will go and enter here 1, which is wrong number, right? So, it keeps on saying, sorry, try again. I mean, it's fine. I mean, you're left with two attempts, sorry, try again. That's okay. But what if I don't want this? I want only this to be printed when all the attempts are done and user was not able to guess the number. Then how you gonna do it? That's the point. Then how you gonna do it? So what do you think? Guys, you also need to give me your input. How can I do that? So you see, what we can do is we can simply go and write here if the chance, because once all the attempts are finished, the code obviously will come out of this loop and the code is bound to run this line, because this is going to be falling in its way right before it finishes. And then we will say that, so what about the chance? So you see, first time the chance, when you have here the condition failed, chance is 2 and then 1, right? And after the 1, this is, I mean, going to be, I think, 0, right? So we can write here that if the chance is 0, right? If the chance is 0, then we want to go and write a number which is print actually a statement which is that, sorry, sorry to see you losing. Okay, better luck next time. I think this is what we want to do, because you see, when user enters here the number 1, for example, you go in the else and you say you're left with two chances, right? And the chance will be decremented by 1, and then this is going to be printed, and then the code will go here and it checks what is the value of the chance. So chance is not yet 0, so that means this line will not be executed. This line will not be executed. That's the plan. Okay, so when the next time when the chance becomes, this variable becomes 0, I think when you're going to exit from the loop, because you're done with your 3 attempts, this line then should be printed. Okay, well, that's my belief, but let's see that, I mean, how it is going to behave here. So let's just go and run this program. Let me, yeah, let me keep this here. Okay, so let's run this program. Let's see that. So first we have a guess 1. So you say that you're left with 2 attempts, right? And sorry, try again. So this sorry, try again, I mean, you can ignore this if you don't want, right? And let me keep this for the time being. And okay, so 1 second. Let's keep this here. Sorry, try again. Okay, let me just run this one. You're left with 2 attempts. Sorry, try again. 1. You're left with 1 attempt. Sorry, try again. Right? Sorry, try again. You're left with 0 attempts. Sorry, try again, and done. So that means you're left with 0 attempts. So somehow I think the code did not actually find this condition true. And then we need to figure it out. First of all, what I'm going to do, I don't want this line here, so I just go and delete this. Okay, so 1 second. Now let's see that. So I guess the chance is not 0, but it's, I think, the -1. So what if I do this less than, because let me see that first of all. Okay, let's run this again. So the first number 1, you're left with 2 attempts. Perfect. 1 again. Now 1 attempt, and now gone. Sorry to see you losing. Better luck next time. Bingo. Okay, got the point. See, so my calculation went wrong. So what happened? When you have here the last time when the chance is 0, then basically it is, it is going to execute this also. So which means that the chance now, which is now 0, is going to be actually -1. So that's why I have written here the moment it goes less than 0. Okay, so what happens if I go and, again, let's say I go and enter a 3 number. Wow, please, you want the game. You want the game. Fine. So now you're not seeing here, sorry to see you losing. Okay, that's how you deal with the situation. You got the point? Because you see, now it doesn't mean that the this our idle did not actually execute this line. Yes, it must have executed. It must have actually tested this. But the point is that the moment you're going to come here, obviously your chance is never going to be less than 0. right? Because you are able to crack this. You are able to guess the number. Chance will reduce only at this line, which is what? Which is when actually you are not able to guess the number. So if you're able to guess the number, chance will never be less than zero. Okay, so this is the perfect example where you can see the power of the loop and the if conditions. And what a beauty! What a beauty break. Honestly, I really love this option, this keyword, right? So now you also have, you know now that, okay, so if I have to run a loop 1,000 times, I don't have really, I'm, have to run this in case if I find a value or whatever I'm calculating, if that is done in the very fifth attempt, I can save those extra 995 steps. Obviously, your code will also be faster because the loop will immediately exit. Okay, so don't worry, we're going to see all such things gradually. And when we are going to work with the data, I will always, as I said that, I will not really explain these things in so detail because you have to now practice this right away. Okay, we are preparing for the better future. We are preparing for the coming those practical sessions where we are just going to, manipulate the data, modify the data, adding the data, subtracting the data, whatever we want using all these things. All right, thank you so much. Let's now meet in the next lecture, guys.